Welcome, friends, to the Radio Vault, the Boomer Years. This is the premiere. This is the first upload I am going to put on here, and I can't figure out a better way to do it than go back exactly 50 years ago to a Labor Day weekend in 1969. And we're going to have some radio from Joe Cobb on WVON in Chicago. That was a black-owned radio station. And then we're going to have a horror program called Beyond Midnight. Then a religious drama, Heartbeat Theater. And then we're going to have some Top 40 from KYA in San Francisco. And let me tell you a little bit about this channel. This is kind of a branch off of my Radio Vault. Well, the original Radio Vault. I decided to separate the channels and go by eras or generations, I suppose. And this one would be the Boomer Years. It's going to focus solely on the years 1955 to 1979. And radio went through a lot of big changes during those years, switching from the old-time radio-style dramas to the music radio that we've all grown to love and have nostalgia about, including myself. And also, we're going to have several news programs, and you're going to hear society change in various ways throughout the 1960s and 70s. And it ought to be a fun listen. And I'm also going to read read from the Chicago Tribune with, I'm going to pick out a date with every upload, preferably a date where something happened that's relatively important in history, if there are any for that upload. And I'm going to read from the newspaper for that. And I have been doing that on my World War II uploads. And that ought to be very interesting. And I'm not going to upload as frequently as I do my World War II uploads, which I do every single night. I mean, that would just be too big of a task for me to be able to handle. I do have a job outside of YouTube, believe it or not, and that job requires me to work approximately 10 to 12 hours a day on average. And also I have a wife, and if I locked myself in a room and just did uploads all the time, I think my wife would kind of be a little bit upset, as you probably would be. But I will definitely post. And I'm also going to redo some of the uploads that some of you have noticed have been deleted from the World War II page. And I will re-upload some of those, or I will redo them with a newscast put in them. So, well, anyway, let's get things started. Let's listen to the news as read from the Chicago Tribune. News as read from the Chicago Tribune for Monday, September 1st, 1969. The weather. The sun rose at 6:16 a.m. It set at 7:24 p.m. For Chicago and vicinity, mostly cloudy, much cooler, and a chance of occasional rain today. High upper 70s, partly cloudy and cooler. Northeasterly winds. Tomorrow, partly sunny and pleasant. The low temperature, 70 degrees. The high temperature, 91. The headline, Charged in Nuns Slaying. A 22-year-old member of the Vice Lords street gang was arrested and charged with murder yesterday for the fatal shooting late Saturday night of Sister Dorothea Haas of the Order of Little Sisters of Jesus. Police said Edward Taylor, who lives at 3414 15th Street, was identified by 4 witnesses as the man who was shooting a revolver in the neighborhood of the convent at 3451 15th Street, where the nun died. Two men and a woman robbed the Grant Park underground garage of $1,500 yesterday morning, carrying off the loot, mostly change, in two First National Bank money sacks they had brought with them. Robert McCorkle, 52, the garage manager, told police that the trio forced their way into his office at gunpoint and ordered him to open the safe. Police were summoned when a garage maintenance employee, Claude Sutton, saw the bandits binding McCorkle and another attendant with nylon stockings. Police were seeking the trio, who fled up a stairway leading up to the Michigan Avenue and Van Buren Street intersection. The deaths of a 19-year-old Southern Illinois University sophomore and his 18-year-old sweetheart in a suicide pact were disclosed yesterday by DuPage County Sheriff's Police. Police Captain Daniel Mitchell identified the victims as Albert K. Tom of 18 West 511 Forest Preserve Drive, Wooddale, and Miss Barbara Duick of 3 North 508 Willow Street, Elmhurst. Atlantic City, New Jersey, August 31st. Better a has-been than a never was, said Judith Ann Ford, who retires Saturday as Miss America at the age of 19. The 5'7" blonde beauty from Belvedere, Illinois, relinquishes her crown after a 12-month reign, which included about 200 personal appearances and a USO trip to Vietnam. Miss America 1969 will enter the University of Illinois as a sophomore, majoring in physical education and hopes of being a high school teacher after graduation. Colorado Springs, August 31st. Pressure among governors for the federal government to pay all welfare costs increased today on the eve of President Nixon's appearance at their national conference here. President Nixon can take comfort from the praise piled upon him by Democratic as well as Republican governors, even as they demanded vast extension of his present move to increase federal welfare spending. Appearing on the Meet the Press television program, Governor Ogilvie of Illinois agreed with 4 other governors on the full funding proposal. However, Ogilvie said it should be done ultimately and involves a question of timing. Washington, August 31st. Efforts by the Nixon administration to control inflation will be successful, Secretary of Labor Joel Schultz predicted today, but he speculated success will create new tension in the areas of collective bargaining. Schultz, appearing on CBS TV's Face the Nation, said the historical evidence supports the theory that programs initiated by the administration will stem rising costs in America. Charging that wage and price controls would not accomplish anything, Schultz said that the operation of the government at a slight surplus with rigidly controlled government spending was the formula that could halt inflation. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, August 31st. A woman was shot and more than a dozen other persons injured tonight when sniper fire and rock throwing broke out in a Negro housing project after police broke up a drag race. The wounded woman was a bystander. 3 bullets were fired through the windshield of the ambulance sent to aid her. The disturbance in Broward County at the Madison Garden Apartments and surrounding area was being kept under control late tonight by police patrols in groups of 4. Foes of sex education in schools voted yesterday to ask the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare to spend $1 million to further their cause. The group is the National Convention of the Crisis in Education, which ended its 3-day meeting early today in the Conrad Hilton Hotel. Albert Westerfield, 9036 Merrill Avenue, was program moderator. Fort Worth, August 31st. The Fort Worth Division of General Dynamics last year quietly finished a feasibility study of a manned flight to Mars, officials announced today. The study, done partially under a contract with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, found that February 10, 1984 would be the best date because the planet will be closest to Earth at that time. A crew of 6 would make the 15-month-long trip, 194 days to reach the planet, a 40-day stay, and 227 days back to Earth. Dr. M.A. Frost, Senior Design Director at General Dynamics, said the spacecraft itself would constitute the biggest departure from the past. There would also have to be technological breakthroughs in life control systems and protective devices. An assembly crew would spend about 6 months in orbit putting the 2.1 million pound spacecraft together, he said. The craft would be nuclear powered and would be 470 feet long. Saigon, Vietnam, September 1st. South Vietnam kept its troops on full alert in and around Saigon today, expecting communist attacks marking the 24th anniversary of North Vietnam's declaration of independence from France. The American Military Command said there was no change in the normal alert status for the more than 500,000 United States troops in Vietnam, but that local commanders could declare full alerts if they wanted. All leaves and days off were canceled for the tens of thousands of South Vietnamese troops in Saigon and the surrounding 11 provinces, where an increase in terrorism has been predicted. Seoul, Korea, August 31st. The Defense Ministry announced that 3 South Korean soldiers were killed and 5 others wounded in a firefight today with several North Korean infiltrators near Hwacheon, 50 miles northeast of Seoul. It said that in the brief pre-dawn encounter, South Koreans killed one of the communist intruders who were intercepted just south of the demilitarized zone. A search for the rest, who fled leaving behind the body of their dead comrade with a submachine gun, a pistol, 2 radios, and $870 worth of South Korean banknotes, was still continuing, the ministry said. Beirut, Lebanon, August 31st. As many as 8,000 Iraqis left Lebanon within the last 24 hours after their government ordered them to get out. The remaining 7,000 are expected to leave soon, Iraqi sources said today. Some left by plane and others by car. Some went back home while others merely went to neighboring Arab countries. The Iraqi government order did not specifically say that Iraqi nationals should return home, but that they must leave Lebanon. The Iraqi explanation for their move against Lebanon was that anti-Iraqi campaigns in the Lebanese press had not stopped. A statement by Baghdad Radio disapproved of the alleged hostile attitude of the Lebanese government towards Palestinian commandos. Rio de Janeiro, August 31st. Brazil's 3 military chiefs of staff formed a ruling junta tonight to take over temporarily the government of Brazil from President Arthur da Costa e Silva, 66, who was reported incapacitated by a cerebral hemorrhage. The War Ministry said the junta would serve only until Costa e Silva was capable of resuming his office. A medical bulletin issued in conjunction with the ministry's announcement said the president would be temporarily unable to carry out his functions, but described his condition as satisfactory. London, September 1st. Tripoli Radio announced today the imposition of a curfew and the closure of all harbors and airports in Libya. The radio monitored in London then played martial music. It gave no immediate explanation for the measures. The Rome office of Transworld Airlines received a message from its branch in Libya that the Tripoli airport was closed. TWA held back a flight that was to go to Madrid and then to Tripoli. Castel Gandolfo, Italy, August 31st. Pope Paul VI appealed to Middle East leaders today to avoid the fateful steps that could touch off another world war. In his strongest statement on the Middle East since June 1967 war, the pontiff likened recent events in the volatile area to the prelude of World War II. At his noon blessing of the crowd gathered at the papal summer residence, the pontiff said, "We have the impression after the events of these days, instead of witnessing the prelude to a pacific solution, we witnessed in ill-omened symptoms which preceded 30 years ago the explosion of the Second World War." Damascus, Syria, August 31st. The 4 Israeli women passengers aboard a hijacked Transworld Airlines jetliner who were detained in Damascus by the Syrian government will be released and sent to Rome, the Syrian news agency said tonight. 2 Israeli men apparently still were being held. The agency said the authorities concerned today completed the interrogation of the detained Israeli women. The necessary arrangements are being made for their departure to Rome. London, August 31st. Hundreds of Muslims living in Britain marched through London today to protest the fire last week, which destroyed one wing of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. The marchers carried such banners as "Holy War is the only solution" and "Destruction of Muslim shrines today, Christian shrines tomorrow." Moscow, August 31st. A Russian general who recently checked on the loyalty of Czech troops today said greater indoctrination is needed to make them more reliable allies. General Alexei Yepeshev made the comment in Red Star, voice of the Red Defense Ministry, in a report on his tour of Czechoslovakia for 2 weeks before the first anniversary of the August 20 to 21st Russian-led invasion. And in sports today, Newton, Iowa, August 31st. Rocky Marciano, who retired in 1956 as undefeated heavyweight boxing champion, and two other men were killed tonight in a light plane crash about 2 miles south of Newton, Iowa, in central Iowa. They were en route from Chicago to Des Moines. The other victims were tentatively identified as Frank Farrell, 28, an insurance executive, and Glenn Bells, 27, a building contractor. Both are from Des Moines. Bells was thought to be the pilot. The crash occurred about 9 o'clock Chicago time in a wooded area about 2 miles southeast of Newton Airport. The plane was scheduled to land at Newton. Atlanta, August 31st. Phil Niekro's knuckleball is the best in the National League, and Billy Williams, who never sees Niekro throw anything else, says it carries pretty well when struck with a baseball bat. Ken Holtzman, due to lack of experience, does not necessarily agree, but soon after Williams hit his 243rd home run of his major league career today, Holtzman hit his first one and found a new way to humiliate the Atlanta Braves. It has been 12 days since Holtzman pitched his first no-hitter against these same Braves and the same Phil Niekro. Today, Holtzman drove in 3 runs toward an 8-4 Cubs victory, 2 with his homer and 1 with a single. On the south side, when the White Sox can survive a 4-run inning and still win, come out of the woodwork, you fans. They came up with this death show of legerdemain in the 9th inning yesterday, scoring 3 times to whip the Cleveland Indians 7-6 in a sweep of the 3-game series. The Indians had rubbed out Tommy John's 4-2 lead with their big thrust in the 8th. Walter Williams and Louis Aparicio, the little guys who follow each other in the batting order, had a big hand in the 9th inning rally for the second successive game, and it would have caused at least half a dozen Cubs bleacher bums to fall out of the stands had they been there. And the scoreboard and standings. The Cincinnati Reds defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 7-5. The New York Mets split a doubleheader with the San Francisco Giants, winning the first game 8-0 and losing the second game in 11 innings 3-0. The Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. The San Diego Padres split a doubleheader with the Montreal Expos 5-2 and 6-1. The Pittsburgh Pirates defeated the Houston Astros 6-4. And that puts the standings in the Eastern Division. The Chicago Cubs are in first place, a great position to be in on this September 1st. The New York Mets are in second place, 4 games back. Pittsburgh, 10 games back. St. Louis, 10.5 back. Philadelphia, 26 back. And Montreal, 41 back. Over in the Western Division, Cincinnati and San Francisco are tied, while Los Angeles is a half game back and Atlanta is 2 games back. Houston is 4.5 games back. It's pretty tight all the way until you get down to San Diego, the expansion team. They are 34.5 games back. Now for scores in the American League. The Washington Senators defeated the Oakland Athletics 8-3. The New York Yankees defeated the Kansas City Royals 5-3. The Minnesota Twins defeated the Boston Red Sox 6-2. The Detroit Tigers defeated the Seattle Pilots 7-2. The Baltimore Orioles defeated the California Angels 5-4. And that puts the standings in the Eastern Division. The Baltimore Orioles are pretty entrenched in first place. The Detroit Tigers are 12.5 games back. Boston 19.5 back. Washington 22.5 back. New York 24.5 back. And Cleveland 36.5 back. Over in the Western Division, Minnesota is on top. Oakland is in second place, 4.5 games back. California is 22.5 games back. The White Sox are 26.5 games back. Kansas City is 26.5 games back. And the Seattle Pilots, 29.5 games back. And finally tonight, London. They arrested Gary Curtis here, and all he was doing was shaving his chin. Of course, he was driving a car through a built-up area with his hands off the wheel at the time, a policeman testified. Curtis was fined 15 pounds, the equivalent of $36 American. And that is the news for Monday, September 1st, 1969, as read from the Chicago Tribune. Have a wonderful day. All right. Well, there was not much really happening in the news on that day. Not every day is going to be historic, but there was a couple interesting tidbits in there. So, like I said, I'll feature news of newspapers of historic dates and some of not so historic dates. Well, now it's time to listen to some great radio. First up, we are going to have Joe Cobb on WVON in Chicago, a rhythm and blues station. Then we're going to have a horror show, a horror drama called Beyond Midnight, Take Your Partners. After that, we'll have a religious program, the Heartbeat Theater. And then we will have Pete McNeil on KYA in San Francisco. So the VON air checks from August 29th. Beyond Midnight's also from August 29th. Heartbeat Theater is from August 31st. And Pete McNeil is from September 1st, the date of the newspaper. So, let me read you a little bit about WVON. It was a very influential station. Let's see. This is from Wikipedia. In 1963, WHFC became WVON when it was purchased by Leonard and Phil Chess, the owners of Chess Records, a successful record label specializing in blues music. WVON debuted on April 1st, 1963, and quickly became a success playing R&B music, ranking consistently among the top 5 most listened to stations in the market. Despite having only 250 watts of power, WVON's non-directional signal was engineered well enough to blanket the south and west sides of Chicago. WVON was a heritage station to Chicago's black community, featuring great black air personalities like Moses Lucky Cordell, Bruce Brown, Herb Kent the Cool Gent, E. Rodney Jones, Cecil Hale, Joe Youngblood Cobb, Ed Nassau Daddy Cook, Bill Butterball Crane, Purvis Spann, Yvonne Daniels, Don Cornelius, Sid McCoy, both of who would accompany Cornelius when Sid McCoy, who accompanied Cornelius when he formed Soul Train, Richard Peguy, Bernardine C. Washington, Jay Johnson, newsman Roy Wood, and Jim Maloney, a very young reporter-engineer Larry Langford, and many others. WVON became well known outside the Chicago area as well. Berry Gordy, the president of Motown Records, sent every song he produced immediately to WVON before any other station. Other similar stations across the country took inspiration from WVON's format. The station also had an active role during the Civil Rights Movement, covering it extensively. After Leonard Chess died in 1969, the Chess family decided to sell WVON to Globetrotter Communications, owned by George Gillette and Potter Palmer. So that's where WVON stands as this broadcast begins. Leonard Chess had just died, and the station was just sold, but boy, does it sound good. So we're going to start things off with that. So, you know what? Think back of where you were during the first weekend in September 1969. Before we get started, let me tell you, well, sort of where I was. I wasn't old enough to remember, but I could tell you what was going on in my family. My dad had just gotten back from overseas in Vietnam. I was born in December 1968. So my dad had just gotten back from Vietnam in mid-July of 1969, and he was on leave for about a month. So in mid-August, he had to travel down to Fort Huachuca in Arizona, and I think it was Tucson, Arizona, is where that fort's located, and they took a drive down there. My grandparents and great-grandparents made the drive with my dad my mom and me in the 67 Firebird that they had, blue 67 Firebird. And when my dad got down there, there was almost nobody at the fort, and the reason for this was because they were all helping with the Hurricane Camille cleanup. So my dad just missed it by less than a week or so. So in September of 1969, I was a baby or a toddler. No, I wasn't walking yet, so I'd probably still be considered a baby over at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. So, anyway, that's what was going on in my family. So let's close our eyes and picture yourself back in 1969, late summer.
Yep, you put.
She's been sweet to you, Daddy. Forget it. She's been good to you, Daddy. Forget it. You think she's so bad. Remember, I'm the one that drives your mind. So forget it.
The Sod Papa's Unforget It, from the home of the knee knockers, the home of the stone foot stomping rockers.
Constipation. That's the worst misery I know of. But now I just don't have to worry about it anymore. And you won't have to either if you do what I do. When I need a laxative, I take X-Lax. That's right, I take X-Lax before going to bed. I sleep better just knowing I'm going to get the help I need in the morning. And you can get the same relief too. In the morning, that stuffed up headachy feeling goes. Then you can do your job. Enjoy your days and your nights. Eat and drink what you like again. Have a good time because you feel so good. So remember, when you need a laxative, take X-Lax before going to bed. It works nice and easy. You know it's going to help you, put you in good shape in the morning. Try it and see if you don't agree. Reliable chocolate X-Lax.
For all my Modi Sicky buddies riding around, I better hip you to the weather. Partly sunny yet warmer, a chance of showers toward evening, a high today expected in the mid-80s. The outlook for tonight, a chance of thunder shower and the low in the upper 50s. Come tomorrow, mostly cloudy and turning cooler with a chance of showers, a high near 70. The precipitation probabilities, 30% today, 50% both tonight and Wednesday. That's it, the extended panoramic forecast for Chicago and vicinity.
Here's a way to step up to modern TV enjoyment. Call Lytel Sales at 3630 West Roosevelt Road. Phone 278-7200, 278-7200. Lytel Sales has the largest selection of like-new reconditioned TV sets and new TVs in Chicago. That's right, Admiral, Zenith, RCAs, Philcolls, and others. Big screen sets, portables, consoles, sets with UHF channels at all low prices, plus easy credit terms. What's more, you try before you buy. Call 278-7200, 278-7200, and ask Lytel to send a friendly representative to your home with a TV that you'll really enjoy. And if you have a TV, now Lytel will give you a generous trade-in allowance. Don't wait. Call now. Even if you've only been on your job 2 weeks, we don't care. Yes, credit terms can be arranged, and with your purchase, you receive a man's or lady's wristwatch free. That's Lytel Sales, 278-7200, 278-7200. Call now. Yes, and look at TV today. That's right, 278-7200. Want a TV? Call Lytel's, 278-7200.
You know, it's so nice to deal with people that are for real. That's why I want to stop and talk about Barney's Record Shop at 3234 West Roosevelt Road. That's the home of the bargain wall, and they're now offering LPs at a special price for just $188. They also have a complete selection of phonograph needles, spendos, cartridges, record carrying cases, TV antennas, and stereo tapes for cars. Transistor radios start at a lowly $3.95 and up. Also, while you're there, don't be square. Check out that new Mood lamp, which will add more of groove to the grooves. And for TV service, just call 722-9511. That's 722-9511. Remember those bargain wall LPs for just $188. Where, square, get over there. I'm talking about Barney's Record Shop, 3234 West Roosevelt Road.
The Voodoo Man. I put a spell on you. I'm gonna mess up your mind and tear up your
I wanna see my, girl, I got to see my voodoo man. I wanna see my, girl, I got to see my voodoo man.
This sounds like Bobby Stone.
Can't keep this money, love can't keep you. I've got to find the best way I can. Don't you know? You know I love you, baby. Girl, and I got to be your fool. You know I need you, baby. Girl, and I got to be your fool. Before I let you leave me, baby, I'd rather be bit by a snagger to you.
Well, we can arrange that too, Jim. Ain't no big thing.
Sprinkle Cooper dust all around your leg. I take my time to conquer and ease it under your head. Talk magic words the voodoo man told me. I know if that don't keep you, woman, I got to let you be. I wanna see mine. Girl, I got to see my voodoo man.
The Voodoo Man, honey.
Can't keep this money, love can't give you. I got to find the best way I can. Now don't you know, I'm gonna find me a lucky penny, give me a black cat bone, buy some incense candles and burn them in my home. I can get me a chicken wishbone or lucky horseshoe too. Going all the way to Louisiana to see old Voodoo Lou. I wanna see my. Got to see my voodoo man. Don't you know? Can't keep this money, love can't keep it, girl. I got to find the best way I can now. Don't you know it? Hey, I don't care. Got to. Keep on, baby. Got to move it. Got to, baby. Got to, baby.
Bobby Stone, the Hoodoo Band. Musical Kicks bringing your way 126.
Go to Stotlands for your furniture. Go to Stotlands for clothing too. If you don't have the cash money, they'll arrange easy terms for you.
Want to have plenty of money for vacation? Well, shop at Stotland Clothing Store, 345 East 47th Street, where prices are extra low and no money down. Easy credit terms are the words. Plus values like these. Men's sport coats, $29 values, now $17.50. Men's slack values to $19 for $5.95 and $6.95. Sports shirts, regular $4.95 values for $1.29. And fall coats that were $95 going for $59. Ladies' dresses, $15 and $19 values, closing out at $4.95. And your next fall coat, $99.50 value, a real special at just $59. No money down, easy credit, or buy on your Midwest Bank charge card. Come in, reserve special bargains for fall at savings up to 50%. Dress up proud with Stotland Clothing Store at 345 East 47th Street. Open evenings till 6:30, Fridays till 8, Saturdays till 9.
Go to Stotlands. Go to trusting you, baby. Can't you see that's what I'm trying to do? I know you've been hurt before, and your face I love much more than I love your side. You're only half alive, 'cause everybody needs a love, yeah. Everybody needs a love. Say you wanna be kissed, but you won't let me kiss you.
Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Say you wanna be missed. Can't you see how my arms are missing? She's got me hurting so inside. Now I'm trying to hide, but no matter how you try, without love you can't survive. 'Cause everybody needs a lover, yeah. Everybody needs love, oh, love, alright.
I need love, you need love, and we can buy a license at City Hall if you really dig Butterball.
Don't you know that you need love, and I need love. Everybody needs love. Say you wake up in the morning, yes you will, feeling so empty inside. I bet I know what your trouble is, baby. You need someone like me by your side. I know you've been hurt before, but don't be afraid to try. Love much more, 'cause without love you'll find you'll have no peace of mind. 'Cause everybody needs a love, oh yeah. Everybody needs love. You need love.
I need love.
I need love.
Every living thing needs love. Gladys Knight and the Pips, number 5. When you think about love, you think about a tear and a smile. That's the way love is. Love is wild. These are the Romeos. As I sit here meditating very deeply, a voice spake it unto me, saying,
WVON Cicero.
Half-hour headlines. Headlines.
Your nearby certified food centers are presenting WVON's headline news. Roy Wood reporting. Negro voting strength may be a big factor today as Mississippi Democrats hold a primary runoff election. The big three automobile makers have offered the United Automobile Workers what the company calls the best contract proposals ever made. Union rejection is expected anyway. Members of Red China's diplomatic mission and the police clashed twice outside the legation in London. The United States Command says that the United States lost 16 planes last week in the air war against North Vietnam. A dispute outside the gates has delayed the burial of the American Nazi Party leader, George Lincoln Rockwell, at a national cemetery in Virginia, and the former movie actress Shirley Temple Black, 39 years of age now, is expected to announce her candidacy for the United States House of Representatives as in California. There are many, many fantastic buys at your nearby certified food centers. Raggedy Ann's Fine Foods and Country's Delight Dairy Products. Plus, WVON's fantastic buys of the week, Best Foods Sandwich Spread, and the new soft fabric softener. Get all of these fine products at these certified food centers where you always get value with a personal touch. Tony's Certified Food Center at 3333 West Roosevelt Road, the Shoppers Mart at 6914 South Wentworth Avenue, the S&S Package Goods Center, 3020 West 147th Street in Posen, Illinois, and the Certified Food Center at 4339 West Cermak Road. WVON Headline News, complete details at 2.
Go, go, young blood.
Buffalo. Martha Vandella is engaging in that game of hard rock at 26 minutes before 2 o'clock. They call it Love Bug.
So Wet and Wild, 7-Up in big 16-ounce, no-return bottles, handy thirst-drenching refreshment. 7-Up, Wet and Wild, and one way.
I want you to know this is Joe Cobb's show, but Butterball sitting in for his friend.
Hello, this is Bernadine with a message for the ladies. For those of you who already have the necessary physical, mental, and personality resources for success, a charm course will give you that plus quality. A man selects his mate on a more or less emotional evaluation of her qualities. Therefore, he's attracted to a girl who is good-looking, happy, and self-confident. There again, a charm course is your answer. And the most complete charm course may be acquired from the Carrie Scott School at 350 East 79th Street. Call and register now, 488-2750. Charm training at the Carrie Scott School will give you the added advantage of greater self-confidence, amplified beauty, and personality plus. Register now. Call 488-2750. 488-2750.
No matter what you do, you better remember Ember.
Listen, folks, it's time to spruce up your home for summer, and Ember Furniture is all set to give you a heap of assistance. Ember Furniture Stores at 4128 West Madison, 426 East 47th Street, and 643 West 63rd Street has bought out a famous name stereo stock. Ember has console stereos with AM and FM radio for a low, low $99. Ember wants to open 1,000 new accounts, and prices have been slashed to the bone. Come in and get acquainted. With every living room set sold, get 2 step tables and lamps of your choice free. Buy a sofa and chair from their $99 group and get your tables and lamps free. Famous name brand king-size bedding and king-size mattress reduced 60%, just $88 complete. Hurry now for best selections. Quantities are limited. A small deposit will secure selections. No finance problems at Ember. You deal direct, and Ember honors all Midwest charge cards. Remember Ember, 4128 West Madison, 426 East 47th Street, and 643 West 63rd Street.
Chicago, baby, because I consider you very nice, I want to play something for you that is awfully nice. These are the days.
In my mind, thoughts are formed. The pen writes, and words are born. Because we're shy when we're young, I'll let my heart speak in place of my tongue.
Darling, here's a letter
Girls with a heartbreaker, a natural soul shaker. Ooh, I love you. You hang in there. I'm going to play that again.
Here's Ray Charles. What a day! I feel good because everything has been so right. Just like the sun, I've been rolling along, and I can't hardly wait till the night. But for now, I'll let my mind go free. Let the woman I love make a fuss over me. I'm gonna sit down in my easy chair and settle back and say, what about a Coke and a snack? Because things were better with Coca-Cola, yeah. Things were better with Coke. Don't you know that life is so much fun when you're refreshed? Coke refreshes you best. Listen, for now, just let your mind go free. Tell the woman you love, baby, some Coke for me. Because things go better with Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke after Coke.
The genius of soul, Ray Charles, talking about hot weather. Partly sunny and warm, a chance of showers toward the evening, a high in the mid-80s.
If you have lost your appetite, feel tired, worn out, irritable, it just could be that you're suffering from a most common ailment, constipation. I'd like to tell you about a remarkable way to end your constipation worries now. Just get Pep-Its, the chocolated laxative that comes in tablet form. So easy to take because they taste good. Pep-Its are not a new product on the market. They've been a family favorite for 50 years, tried and tested and proven to contain the correct amount of ingredients to give satisfying and dependable relief without harm to your system. And they're good for children, too. Next time you're not up to par, take Pep-Its and see how quickly you'll feel good again. Pep up with Pep-Its. Available at better drug counters everywhere.
Attention all my West Side ditty boppers and stone finger poppers. Don't forget the Glamour Teens present their first annual West Side High School Queens Mini Hop. Ooh, them mini skirts to get a cat hurt. Oh, that's this coming Friday, September 1st from 8 until 12 p.m. Ware Square, McHenry Hall, of course, 4039 West Madison. Yours truly, the greasy fat one, Butterball will stand tall, along with Don Clark's Soul Musical Star.
Some girls have short hair, some girls have long hair. With Raveen, every girl has beautiful hair. Raveen, that's R-A-V-E-E-N, a complete line of hair care products. First step to hair beauty is daily use of Raveen hair and scalp conditioner. This is a very light cream you massage gently into the hair and scalp before combing. Raveen will condition your hair, never oil the hair. Raveen makes hair easy to manage, even retards the effects of humidity and dampness. The 1-2 formula for beautiful hair is 1. Massage Raveen scalp and hair conditioner into your hair, and 2. Comb into the style you like. If your hair is damaged, porous, chemically straightened, or overtreated, Raveen suggests that immediately after each shampoo, you comb Raveen New Life through the hair. For your crowning glory, remember Raveen, a beautiful way to treat your hair.
Buy Raveen hair care products at Economy United Pharmacy, 2259 West Madison Street, and at Fine United Drugs, 200 East 51st Street.
Excuse me, Mr. Engineer, but if I promise to be real good, would you play my favorite record for me? Would you really please, mister? Oh, you're so nice.
Oh, I like you.
Thoughts are from the pen writes and words are
those groovy dales up in here, dear sugar.
Because we're shy when we're young. I'll let my heart speak in place of my tongue.
Here's a letter written just for you. Next time I'll do
this out. I'm wigging myself up in here.
Love letters are written in many, many ways. But from start to finish,
that's smart. If you don't like that record, please tell me so I can take you for a one-way ride on my motorcycle.
To you with love. To Sir with love. London Town that sent us mods and miniskirts has sent us a new movie, To Sir with Love. Starring Sidney Poitier as Sir in the performance you've been waiting for since Lilies of the Field and a Patch of Blue. To Sir with Love. In Technicolor from Columbia Pictures.
To Sir with Love starts Wednesday downtown at the Bellman and Katz Roosevelt Theater.
That's no big thing. I always get a letter to Sir with Love. Dear Sir, this is to inform you that your payment is past due. You
know, friends, one of the greatest thrills in life is probably owning your own home. And I'd like to help you to own your own home. A brand new home in the fresh air of the suburbs for just $86 a month, principal and interest. Now listen, these homes are beautiful. They have wall-to-wall carpeting, a modern gas oven and range, refrigerator freezer, and a modern wood cabinet kitchen. And if you need new furniture, listen to this. They'll furnish your whole house and no increase in monthly payments. That same $86 per month covers all your payments. Now, these homes are located at 207th and Woodlawn. That's Golden Meadows. Arjax is the builder, the famous developer of Golden Gate and Maple Park. Call this number now if you'd like information. Ask for Mr. Will Hammond, 758-4100. That's Mr. Hammond at 758-4100. Call now, get complete information. 758-4100.
You're getting very sleepy, very sleepy, very sleepy. Look into my eyes. You shall become mesmerized. You shall become hypnotized. How do you feel now, Linda?
Hypnotized.
My game is low righteous.
You got me hypnotized. All it took was just one little look into your eyes. I'll do whatever you say. Command me and I'll obey. Because I love, la la la, ha ha. You got me walking and talking in a trance, in a magic spell of romance. Make me hug you, make me kiss you. My heart is yours to command. And whoa, hypnotized. Gee, I'm so hypnotized. Just one touch of your fingertips, one kiss from your sweet, sweet lips. I'll go wherever you want me to go.
That's mighty nice of you, honey.
Everything I've done is yours. Because I love you, I love you. You got me. Can't spell that you can. Please, make it last. Whoa, so hypnotized.
hypnotized. Linda, I'm sorry I had to hypnotize you. You will awake when I snap my finger and say...
The high price spread plays for music.
More often.
All right, come alive, sugar. It's Pearl time.
I got a little old jive dude in my crib. I call him Monday because I can't get no kind of sense out of this dude on a Sunday. Always peeking in my bag. Always putting on my do-rag. Ain't this a drag?
I got a little son. His name is Monday.
Yeah.
He never give me no problems till on Sunday.
Yeah.
He came to me one day, he said, Daddy, I got a little girl.
Did you swing on him, Pop?
I said, well, son, how do you know that she did you? He said, Daddy, she can do the pearl. I said, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. But then that's good, son. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. I think you know.
Why don't you pearl, girl?
So then I thought I'd sit him down, you know. Me and him had to have a little talk. I said, son, is you sure that this pearl is the girl? He said, Daddy, I'm absolutely positive that my girl is Pearl. I said, well, all right, son, if that's your girl, then go on out and on the floor and do the pearl. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl, baby, pearl. My boy can do
Why don't you like
Oh, that's my son out there, y'all. Pearl, baby, pearl, baby, my boy. Baby Pearl, I'm so proud of my son. 1967. Oh, Pearl, I'm great to you. Look at you. Let's go there. Suck it, suck it, suck it.
Andre Williams, and it's Pearl time. It just didn't happen this way. I planned it this way. Music wall to wall with Butterball. Deep in my heart, sugar, this is for you.
Let me tell you about the way I feel in my heart, baby. Let me tell you about the way I feel in my heart. Let me tell you about the love that I have in my heart. Way down deep. Let me tell you about the love that I have in my heart. When you kiss me, I hear church bells ring. When you hug and squeeze me, I wanna buy you one more diamond ring. But first of all, let me tell you about the way I feel in my heart.
Deep down in my heart.
Let me tell you about the way I feel in my heart.
All up in my air cleaner and button.
It's in my heart. Way down deep, deep in my heart. Baby, you use me. Way down in my heart. Baby, I love you. Oh, way down deep in my heart. Something makes me walk right. Something about you makes me talk right. Oh, little girl. Oh, way down deep in my heart. Oh, in my heart. It's in my heart. It's in my heart.
Jimmy Robinson, in my heart, baby. It's not a cold spot, it's a hot point because it's a store more and it can handle more. And I'm talking about more love. Here's Smokey coming out of his bag. Now go into your act, brother. Explain the game and musically entertain. Handle it now.
Let it be so. Don't hesitate. Make it now. Don't wait.
WVON, walk with me. Hit it, son. Proposition to make with you. If I give you more love, will you do the karate boogaloo? Ah, this is Sock It To It radio. I mean, keep the pressure down on it. Jerry-O. Up in here, y'all.
Sock it to me, baby. Hey, hey, what I say? Oh, stomp, shout, and work it on out. Come on, girl. Kick it. Up in here.
5 or 6 times. Because I carry such a big bag full of goodies all the time. Demonstrating for you that Stone Karate Boogaloo 5, and we're through. It's 2.
WVON Cicero.
I do believe we shall overcome.
WVON News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Roy Wood reporting, WVON News.
Spread play for music.
Sorry about that.
Say, are you fellas kidding?
Here, have another sandwich and a beer, will you?
Yeah, man, I mean, like, wow. The automobile industry has made what one company describes as the industry's best contract proposal ever recorded. However, it is asking the union to cut back on some demands that have been won in previous years. Quick rejection of the industry's proposals by the union is expected. The industry presented a solid front as it answered for the first time the demands that the union has admitted are the most ambitious ever made. Jackson, Negro voting strength is expected to play an increased role in deciding today's Democratic primary election in the state of Mississippi. Their vote and the supporters of a defeated hardline segregationist could decide the governor's race between State Treasurer William Winter, or U.S. Congressman John Bell Williams. Victory in the Democratic primary has been tantamount to election in the past in the heavily Democratic state. In local contests, Mississippi may elect its first Negro sheriffs since Reconstruction. 4 Negroes are running against white opponents for that particular office. And the 1965 Voting Rights Act has brought a surge of Negroes.
Memphis Jam Session, or in other words, Memphis Soul Stew.
The high price spread play for music.
I declare, here's the fascinating, exciting Mr. Billy Stewart. And why do I love you?
Why do I love you so much? Why do I want you so, girl? Why do I need you so much? This, my darling, I may never know. Why does a mirror reflect a face? Why am I thrilled with your charming embrace? Why do I keep on trying? Why does my heart go on crying? In my sleep I even call your name. Dreams of losing you just drive me insane. Why does water put out the fire? What can I control? I control my desire. Why do I love you so well? Why do I want you so good? Why do I need you so good? This, my darling, I said I may never know. All things are what they seem to be. Life itself, I said, life itself is such a mystery. Sometimes I wonder, 'cause it's so true. I don't know why I said I love you, but I do.
Tell me why, baby.
Why do I love you so?
Why is my head so ragged and sugar?
Why do I want you so, girl?
Don't you like my natural?
Why do I need you so, love? Oh, my darling, I said this, I may never know. Well, yeah, baby, you know, my darling, girl, I said right now. Don't you know, little girl, I said, I just don't know. You got to tell me, baby.
Oh, that's a groove. Billy Stewart making the move. Why? Why do I love you so? You know, the saddest word I ever heard was almost. You know, I almost got away with it, but the man caught me. This is Jimmy Delps.
The saddest word that I ever heard is almost. 'Cause it means whatever you're trying to do, you didn't make it. Oh no, but baby, you're almost. Honey, you're almost. Now take a man who saved and he planned his whole life through, yeah, only to find he ran out of time. He didn't live till his dreams come true. Oh baby, but he almost. Now listen, everybody, what I have to say, yeah. It's happened to all of us sometime. In some kind of way, baby, almost. Not quite, but almost.
Walk on, Jimmy.
Now, you take a girl who's in love with a guy, but she's too shy to show it. And when she finally wants to tell him so, another girl
was almost born rich, but my mother married a poor man. That's Jimmy Delp and almost. Here comes the Martinis, and they're kind of hungover. That's your title. Wonder if Roy Wood is through with that Knockworth sandwich over there. I want you to know all of the fun is out of the Joe Cobb show. Butterball said again from a friend. Yeah, you heard that? I have a friend. Every time he has a taste, he sells cars.
Buick. You're on the right beam with WVON. 24 hours a day.
WVON, Cicero.
Half hour headlines.
An organization of young Negroes plans another open housing march tonight on the south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Voters are turning out in heavy numbers in Mississippi in a Democratic runoff primary for governor. Dr. Martin Luther King says he does not plan to run for president in 1968 on a new party ticket. The Senate Labor Committee today approved a $5.6 billion bill containing funds to carry on the anti-poverty program for another year. WVON Headline News details at 3.
Sounds like footsteps. These are the creations. Creations, footsteps, last week, the instant replay, now number 40 on the Solid Soul Survey.
A giant barrel of food absolutely free daily at your nearby Red Rooster supermarket. Anyone can win. Stop in and register. Special at all Red Roosters, fresh baked sliced white bread, 15 cents a large loaf. Just 15 cents a large loaf of fresh baked sliced white bread. Plus specials like this. Jumbo green bell peppers, 3 cents a piece. U.S. #1 tube tomatoes, 10 cents a tube. At your nearby Red Rooster supermarket. There's a new one at 606 Independence Boulevard, 63rd and Cottage, 63rd and Dorchester, and 2 other big locations.
Big up to the Buttercup. This is the last time I'm going to hip you about the weather. Partly sunny and warmer. A chance of showers toward the evening. A high today expected in the mid-80s. The outlook for tonight, a chance of thunder showers, a low in the upper 50s.
Lifetime jobs at Curtis Candy's new plant, 3401 Mount Prospect Road, Franklin Park. Phone number 921-0375. Men needed for lifetime jobs. Production workers, candy wrappers, porters, other positions, high salary, pension plan, paid vacations, and group insurance. Work in the new Curtis Candy plant, 3401 Mount Prospect Road, Franklin Park. Start work now. Day or night shifts. Phone now, 921-0375, 921-0375. You can go to work today. Security for life. Now, that's the Curtis Candy new plant, 3401 Mount Prospect Road, Franklin Park.
The WVON fun time, 25 minutes before 3 o'clock. Time to remember Ember.
Ember Furniture Stores, 4128 West Madison Street, 426 East 47th Street, and 643 West 63rd Street are featuring a summer living room sale. 4-piece sectional sofa, 2-step tables, 1 cocktail table, 2 table lamps, all 9 pieces for a low $147. Positively the lowest priced bedroom group in all Chicagoland. Listen to this. 6-drawer, double dresser and mirror, 4-drawer chest, full-size panel bed, amazingly priced at $57. Famous name brand king-size bed and king-size mattress with 2 box springs, reduced 60%, just $88 complete. A small deposit will secure selections. No finance problems at Ember. You deal direct. Hurry now for best selections. Quantities are limited. Ember Furniture honors all Midwest charge cards. That's the 3 fine Ember Furniture Stores, 4128 West Madison, 426 East 47th Street, and 643 West 63rd Street. Remember, Ember.
Here's Soul Personified. This is my man, Rudolph Taylor, talking about the doorsteps to sorrow.
On the doorsteps of sorrow, wondering what will become of me tomorrow. I am in fear, baby, please don't leave me here. Oh no, on the doorsteps of sorrow.
Time and sing it soulfully, Rudolph. That's the one that'll pull the membranes right out of your chrome domes. I tell you, Rudolph Taylor, the doorsteps of sorrow.
Wow.
Huh?
I gotta spray out my elevator.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, the smell of perfume.
Yes,
all the girls want to go up on my elevator. Girls, girls, girls. And I used to go up half empty. Now suddenly I'm Mr. Elevator Operator.
Birds of a feather flock together.
I still wear the same old baggy uniform. And I still stop with a jerk. I mean, there's really nothing new about me except for my toothpaste. My toothpaste? That's it! The Ultra Bright toothpaste. It's true. Ultra Bright gives your mouth sex appeal.
New Ultra Bright toothpaste, a taste you can really feel. New Ultra Bright gives your mouth sex appeal.
New Ultra Bright toothpaste, a taste so wildly refreshing you know your breath is the freshest, your teeth the brightest. That's sex appeal. And that's Ultra Bright.
It's true. After Ultra Bright, everything else is just toothpaste.
You're digging the South, the soul of the Joe Cobb Show. Butterball kind of sitting in for my friend. And, honey, I'm glad you're on the scene.
You're on the scene with Bernadine. And now your hostess, Bernadine C. Washington, Women's Director of WVON Radio.
Hello, ladies. This is Bernadine. Now that September is almost here, you'll be getting out your fall hats. When you do, keep this fashion tip in mind. Before you wear them, check them to see if the crowns and brims are fresh and neat-looking. Some hat crowns retain shape better if you keep them stuffed with tissue paper. This applies to men's as well as women's hats. Keep this tip in mind, ladies. You'll thank me.
You've been on the scene with Bernadine. She'll be back again on WVON.
I bought a hat full of tissue paper, and it's still full of tissue paper.
If you act now, you can save 60% on brand new brand name wall-to-wall carpeting at Lincoln. Carpet 2 big rooms and a hall for a low $114. And that's the complete price, including new broadloom carpeting up to 270 square feet, expert installation, padding, hand sewing, certified measurements, and free delivery within 100 miles. Call Lincoln at National 2 9000. Lincoln must sell acres of new carpeting left over from their old warehouse, plus carloads of new orders coming in daily. It's Lincoln's grand opening sale. Discounts to 60% on miles of DuPont 501s, 100% wools, Herculons, Acrylans, viscose weaves, all colors and patterns. No money down, no payments for 90 days, 3 years to pay. Call NA2 9000. Carpet 2 rooms and a hall for only $114 complete. Call National 2 9000 for any of Lincoln's shop at home services. Wall-to-wall carpeting, expert reupholstering, custom draw drapes, custom fabric, and plastic slip covers. Call National 2 9000 now. Save 60%. Out-of-towners, call collect. National 2 9000.
Hang in there for 30 seconds. I'm going to jam the top and then the bottom.
Seven Up in big 16-ounce no deposit, no return bottles. Cold, bold refreshment with big convenience. 7 Up, wet and wild, and one way.
May I have my record?
Another first for WVON.
Thank you, Pastor.
A two-sided hit record, and you hear both sides on WVON's Top and Bottom. This is the Top.
As long as
I help to work with Jive Slow engineers. How's your Medicare there, Walter? Pass him another sandwich, will you? He'll need it after the day. Mr. Jess, I want a new engineer. Preferably a young, slim engineer. Not an old, fat cat. Sorry about that, Walter.
And I'll give you everlasting joy. Keep on beating me.
As I Live for You by the Fantastic Four is the top of this hit record and backed by To Share Your Love. This is The Bottom.
Slam it on up in here, Jim.
The wind that blows no good.
We are.
It's a sad heart that won't love like I know it should. Like it should.
You're digging all the music, my friend, on WVON Cicero.
You have just heard another WVON Top and Bottom.
Thank you, old boys from the great beyond.
Let your beautician relax your hair with Ultra Sheen just once. You become someone else forever. Do the things you've always wanted to do with your hair. Wear a flip. Or how would you like it straight and long for a change? Ultra Sheen leaves your hair relaxed and ready to take on a whole new look permanently. You'll take on a whole new look permanently. Ultra Sheen is so gentle, your hairdresser doesn't even have to apply an oil base. Relax your hair with Ultra Sheen just once, then become someone else forever. The real you. Ask your hairdresser for a permanent with Ultra Sheen Permanent Cream Relaxer from Johnson Products. Johnson always gives it to you straight.
Relax your hair permanently with Ultra Sheen. Available only at your local beauty salon.
Hey, don't forget this Friday, the Glamour Teens present their first annual Westside High School Queens Mini Hop. And that's the hop with the mini skirts and the mini skirts hop. That's this Friday, September 1st, 8 until 12 p.m. Where? McHenry Hall, 4039 West Madison.
Announcing the most magnificent gospel program of the year. Sunday afternoon, September 3rd, 2:30 in the afternoon at the DuSable High School Auditorium, 49th and State Streets in Chicago, the 34th anniversary celebration of Chicago Soul Stirrers. They'll feature the dynamic Swan Silvertones of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Loving Sisters of Little Rock, Arkansas, and the Five Blind Boys of Birmingham, Alabama. The Fabulous Wings of Heaven, the amazing Cleveland Golden Echoes of Cleveland, and the Faithful Wonders of Chicago. The advance donation, $2 at the door, $2.50. Reserved seats are $3. You can get tickets at Ray's Tire Shop, 334 West 59th Street, at the Hyde Park Country Kitchen at 340 East 51st Street, and on the west side, 3943 West Arthington Street.
How about Oscar Mayer?
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me.
That's because Oscar Mayer wieners are so tender and juicy. All meat, all good meat. Everyone likes Oscar Mayer all-meat wieners. And the kids, they love them.
Hey, take care, my love. Whatever you do, be at your best. I want you to take care, sugar, and this is June Conquest. Number 15 today from the Solid Soul Servant.
I've given you all of my love. It was granted to me by the man above. He said I could give it to the one I choose. And my one and only choice was you.
June Conquest and Take Care, my love. And this is something real wonderful from Pearl, Illinois. It's to Mr. Rodney Jones. Rodney opened a letter, and I just had to read it. So, dear Mr. Jones, last month I wrote to the Tribune about that wonderful cake you made. And, well, I didn't know. You mean you can burn now? You're at home on the range. Oh, you didn't want everybody to know that. You cook in your Creole. Would you believe?
Would you believe $39.50 for a 100% human hair wig? That's right, from Wigland. For as little as $39.50, you get a custom-styled wig at no extra cost, a wig case, block, and hairspray plus a guarantee. See Wigland at 185 North Wabash or call for a free home presentation. Call RA68111. RA68111. Easy financing and you get 100% human hair eyelashes as a gift. Call RA68111 now.
Oh, get away, get away.
Hey, did I ever tell you about the day I cooked for E. Rodney Johnson? Well, I ain't gonna tell you about it anyway.
Once upon a time, this cat Jack sees this beanstalk about a mile high out the window. So he makes it up the beanstalk to this boss crib, where there's this big dude talking to himself. Dee-die-do-dicker, time to dig some Schlitz malt liquor. I'm hip, says Jack, 'cause Schlitz malt liquor's the premium blend that makes it like nothing else. He's really knocked out when the big dude opens up his icebox, and inside there's about 4 million cases. Yeah, says Jack, I'm gonna get some of that. He's cooling it down the beanstalk with a couple of cases when the big dude gets with it and takes after him. But the dude trips on his necktie, falls on his own head, and that cools his scene. So now Jack and his old lady have got their own package store, and now and then they get a taste themselves when they're not too busy selling Schlitz malt liquor. Moral, you don't have to be a giant to dig Schlitz malt liquor, 'cause it's the premium blend from beginning to end. Nobody makes malt liquor like Schlitz. Nobody. Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, Milwaukee and other cities.
Would you believe $39.50 for a 100% human hair wig? That's right, from Wigland. For as little as $39.50, you get a custom-styled wig at no extra cost, a wig case, block, and hairspray plus a guarantee. See Wigland at 185 North Wabash or call for a free home presentation. Call RA68111, RA68111. Easy financing and you get 100% human hair eyelashes as a gift. Call RA68111 now.
Oh, get away, get away, go.
I ain't gonna tell Leonard that you ran that commercial twice by mistake, Walter Childress, because I don't tell on people.
Into my life, the wheels of love began to turn. You did what I thought was impossible, babe. Took a cold heart and made it burn. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't resist. 'Cause every time you hold me in your arms like this, it's hard to believe you're real. What you do to me, when you do what you do to me, strange, crazy feeling goes all through me. And I feel good, yes I do. I feel good, baby. I feel good, so good, and I'm glad you're mine.
I feel good.
I don't know what it is, but baby, sure enough got a hold on me. And no matter what I say or do, honey, don't set me free. Every time you touch my hand, my knees get weak. It shakes me up so bad I can hardly speak. And I feel good. Yes, I do. I feel good. Baby. I feel good. So good, and I'm glad you're mine. So hold me tight and don't let go. I need your love more.
That's Jane
than
Wells.
you know. I trade the world for every moment.
That's a nice backup title. The first one was After Loving You, Now I Feel Good. Here's that Watts band all the way from L.A. making a taste of money. They call this one Spreading a Little Honey. Go ahead and handle it. I won't tell nobody. Hey, stay tuned for that old man, E. Rodney Jones. If you like to swing.
Sound of modern radio. Sound of news, weather, and sports. Sound of WVON. More music!
WVON Cicero.
I do believe we shall overcome.
WVON News.
Chicago. 17-year-old John Holt of Sauk Village was found drowned in a quarry at Burnham Harbor and Sauk Trail in Bloom Township this afternoon. The body was taken to St. James Hospital in Chicago Heights, where Homewood Sheriff's Police are investigating the case. Chicago. The North Roseland Little League team will be welcomed home tomorrow with appropriate ceremonies in the Chicago City Hall Council Chamber. Mayor Richard Daley will present the Little Leaguers with the city's official certificate of merit and a trophy. The team finished second in the Little League World Series at Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Chicago. Dr. Martin Luther King said today he has no plan to run for president on a new party ticket and predicted the Negro vote will go to a candidate who has a positive program to help the poor. King, who heads the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, spoke with newsmen in a slum area on Chicago's west side. It is in that area that the conference plans to buy 11 substandard apartment buildings and turn them into condominiums for the poor. King will be keynote speaker Thursday night at the National Conference for New Politics, a meeting of critics of the war in Vietnam and advocates of civil rights and black power. King and a child care specialist, Dr. Benjamin Spock, have been mentioned as running mates on a new party's ticket. King said today, I don't plan to run on a 33rd party ticket. Jackson. Voters are turning out in heavy numbers in Mississippi to decide a Democratic primary runoff election for governor. The runoff is between State Treasurer William Winter and Representative John Bell Williams. Capitol Hill. The Senate Labor Committee has approved a bill containing funds to carry the anti-poverty program through another year and to launch an emergency job program for slum dwellers. The measure would authorize a total of $5.6 billion. The vote was 12-3. The committee almost completely rejected administration suggestions for changes in the bill. Milwaukee. An organization of young Negroes has promised to return tonight to the predominantly Polish south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin for an open housing march. Milwaukee's Mayor Henry Mayer is planning a voluntary curfew designed to reduce the danger of major incidents. An aide to Governor Warren Knowles said National Guard troops had been offered to reinforce Milwaukee police, but that Meyer had declined the offer. Thousands of whites taunted and threatened the Negro marchers last night. Culpeper. The hearse bearing the body of American Nazi Party leader George Lincoln Rockwell is still being kept outside a national cemetery in Culpeper, Virginia. Federal troops are enforcing a ban against mourners wearing Nazi uniforms and swastikas. Several hours after graveside services had been scheduled, armed military police continued to block the hearse and Rockwell's followers. Capitol Hill. The House Post Office Committee has put off until September 12th further consideration of the bill to increase postal rates. Not enough committee members showed up for a scheduled meeting today, so it was decided to postpone action until after the 10-day Congressional Labor Day recess. The White House. The National Postal Union has begun a 2-day round-the-clock demonstration at the White House. The action represents 63,000 postal workers. About 300 union members are staging the march to dramatize their plea for a 15% pay raise retroactive to July 1st. Detroit. The big three automakers have presented contract packages to the United Auto Workers Union. One company described it as the best package ever offered. There was no immediate union response to the proposals from General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, but the union is expected to reject them. San Mateo. Shirley Temple Black has announced her candidacy for a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. The one-time child movie star told the San Mateo, California news conference, I am not playing on the image of a movie star. Mrs. Black, a Republican, said she is running for Congress because, in her words, I believe our country is in great trouble. Hanoi. The North Vietnam News Agency says Black Power advocate Stokely Carmichael has arrived in Hanoi. The agency says he was invited by the Vietnam Asian African Solidarity Committee. There have been a number of reports that Carmichael was on his way to Hanoi from Cuba, where he attended a meeting called by Cuban Prime Minister Fidel Castro. The State Department has lifted his passport for the Cuban trip and has said any visit to Hanoi would add to his legal troubles. Saigon. U.S. planes have been pounding communist gun positions along the demilitarized zone between North and South Vietnam. The aim, to knock out an enemy offensive before it can start. U.S. B-52 bombers dropped about 220 tons of bombs in 3 raids. The U.S. command said Air Force and Marine pilots knocked out 20 gun emplacements, set off 2 secondary explosions, and started 2 fires along the once neutral buffer zone. Washington. The State Department has confirmed that Communist North Vietnam is keeping the majority of its airplanes in Red China, but a spokesman denied that the Communist MiGs are flying combat missions from Red Chinese airfields. State Department News Officer Carl Barch estimated at a news conference that the North Vietnamese have 70 of the planes. Washington. The U.S. Weather Bureau has happily noted that the country is well into the hurricane season without a single Atlantic hurricane. Department records show that the U.S. has not had such a quiet hurricane season since 1941, when the first one developed on September 16th. Hurricanes have developed as early as June. Most tropical storm activity occurs in August and September. Jim Maloney reporting WVON News, a service to free Americans.
Now, from the home of the good guys, the E. Rodney Jones Show.
Welcome back, Jim. Hope you enjoyed your vacation, brother. Yeah. Ed Cook is on vacation.
And hello, Queen.
Yeah.
The lad is back with his swinging machine. Ooh,
Cat's taking care of business on his vacation, too.
Come on, let's rock.
One thing I can say about Ed Cook, he saves money in traveling. Because he rode the bus to Duke.
I don't want to do this good thing, baby. But that I got.
That's where he's vacationing at Duke Summer Resort.
I should say, yeah. I got to do the love. Oh, you love me better. That is all I know. I bet it's like thunder. Going like lightning. The way you love me is frightening. I think I better knock on wood.
This is Otis and Carla, baby. Come on, girl. Yeah. How about that, Otis? The king and queen of soul, honey. All righty, you better knock on wood, honey. That's a swinger. How about that? A real gas. If I ever heard one. That's a boss sound by Otis and Carla. That's Otis Redding and Carla Thomas. 8 minutes now, past 3. That's the WVON time. It's E. Rodney here, whaling the big sounds until about 6:45.
When you've got a job to do, reach for something good to chew. Chewing helps you stand the pace, anytime and any place. So hi-ho, hey, hey, chew your little troubles away. Hi-ho, hey, hey, chew Wrigley Spearmint Gum.
There is the kind of story where the listener is aware all the time of an impending doom, a gradual build-up of terror towards a grand climax. Then again, there is the tale that seems gentle enough, a story of normal, happy people, recognizable scenes. And not until the very end, indeed not until the last minute or so, does it become apparent that something is very, very wrong. My play tonight falls into this latter category. We present Take Your Partners by Ronald Blythe, the 45th consecutive production in Beyond Midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McCabe.
Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex.
If you have wondered how to get your washing really stain-free, understand this. Biotex removes the stains and dirt washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Stains, grass stains, tiresome collar and cuff stains, ingrained dirt, soil and grime. Out they all come, and you don't stir a finger.
Just soak in Biotex.
Biotex with natural enzymes is the pre-wash powder with the most enzymes to give you extra pre-wash power. Absolutely no rubbing, no color loss, no fabric wear. Use it for cottons, silks, woolens, synthetics. Use it to make new again. Soaking in Biotex removes the stains and dirt that washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Is that better? There's nothing in all the world like a log fire this time of the year. Nothing. Not coal, mind. Coal's not the same. Logs. Got to be logs. Messy stuff, coal. 20 days to Christmas. Yes. It's funny. Christmases are never quite the same when you've grown up. Never the same excitement. You grow up, and you are allowed into a new, mysterious world. The world of adult people. But you pay for it. And the price you pay is the surrendering of all the privileges of the young. You lose the chance forever of looking into the mirror of childhood. I know what you mean. But there are compensations. You can stay up late, drink strong drink, go dancing, fall in love. I suppose you dance. Dance? A bit. Nothing spectacular. Now, what passes for dancing nowadays is simple enough, I suppose, as long as you've wind and energy for it. When I was young, though, dancing was a serious thing right enough. A serious thing. We all went to balls. That's what they called them then, not dances. Summer and winter alike. You young people, you haven't a notion about those summer balls. The whole house would be turned upside down for a ball. All the windows were wide as we danced. The music sounded all night across the fields. We lived then. We danced for hours. No messy kerfuffle and then off to a dark corner for hanky-panky. The young ladies were stricter then. They thought more of themselves. Prouder they were. Now, I don't know what the world's coming to. I don't really. I remember one particularly. Indeed, I'm hardly likely to forget it. Younger than you I was, no more than 18, the laddie. The summer ball? No. This was at Campion's. They never gave summer balls. Your ignorance is abysmal. Campion's? I know. That's the old house by the river, where all the chestnut trees are, isn't it? Yes. That's Campion's. It's empty now. It was rented for a few months a couple of summers ago, but it's usually empty. Yes, it's empty now. Like all the big houses. Once, they were places of light and laughter, mystery and romance. Now, oh, what a garden. Chestnut trees, rustic gods, mossy pans and dianas, rose-covered arbors, green and golden ivy covering the walls of the great house. The swallows built their nests under the eaves in spring. Or in the river, lazy, meandering, and the punts tied under the willows, and green lawns, Campions. To Dolly and me, Campions was a haven, a kind of heaven. And now, unless someone re-bricks the chimneys, they will fall down. But I suppose no one ever will. And I suppose they will fall down. The gardens are overgrown. The roses have gone wild. The great rooms of Campions are cold now. No more laughter. The Pans and the Dianas are still on their pedestals, but they've lost a hand here, a foot there. The weeds in the lawns. The grass is thick and rough. In flood time, the river came too high and spoilt the beds. Campions is empty now. Still lovely in a sad, forgotten way. Regretful. Another log on the fire, I think.
Oh, let me, Grandfather.
Where has my world gone? Were we all carried to another planet in 1914? The Earth is different. It's colder. The sun doesn't shine for so long in summer. Sometimes it seems as if the winters will never end.
And you went to a dance, a ball there, at Campions?
Yes. It was the first ball I ever went to. There couldn't have been a better one to start with. You see, Campions was the ball. You can imagine the excitement there was when Dolly and I got cards.
Oh, it would be beautiful. Gerald, do you think Papa will take us in the carriage? Oh, Gerald, are you not so happy to be going?
The guest lists from Campions are always sent to the newspapers. Imagine, everyone will know. Dolly, you realize, of course, that now we've been invited to Campions, we're safe for the whole year. Tennis, the bishop's garden party, no end of other little beaners.
Oh, really, Gerald? You're positively vulgar. I don't know what I will wear. It's terribly worrying. Mama?
And so we went. And our father did take us in the carriage. Not a very grand carriage, but a carriage all the same. And I remember your Aunt Dolly had a new dress, which she'd started putting on after tea, although we weren't to be there before 9.
And did you enjoy yourself?
Not at first, and certainly not afterwards. But between whiles was the strangest happiness I have ever known. When we arrived at Campions, I was so nervous that my gloves were miserably damp even before I'd had a single dance. My collar rose up and down my neck limply. Dolly began to dance at once with Mickey Tranter. Oh, you didn't know him, he's been gone for years. And I was left standing near the old ladies. The ball swept by like a sea. And every time Dolly passed by with Mickey, she stared at me crossly. She knew that I had one dance on my card, and that was with her.
Honestly, Gerald, you're so feckless. I will not be responsible for you. Do something. Dance. Gerald, you are still standing there. The old ladies are discussing you know. You must do something.
Oh, yes. The old ones were talking about me. Behind their hands. I felt them talking about me. I was so miserable I wished I hadn't come. Worse, I knew that it would only be a matter of minutes before I was sent on endless errands for forgotten shawls and turkey sandwiches. So hardly realizing what I was about, I went off towards the garden room. And that's where it all began. The garden room. The night of the ball at Campion's. The room was empty, except for a girl with her back to me. She took no notice of me. She was staring out of the window. She was standing very still. She did turn round, though, after a while. I had never seen anyone like her in the whole of my life before. I've never seen a woman like her since. Her beauty was a kind of everlasting radiance. She would have been revered in any land, in any age, as a goddess. Her hair was black, and it reached down to her waist. Her face was pale, and the enormous eyes just blinked once, signifying that she acknowledged my presence. Oh, she seemed even shyer than I was, for she didn't speak. She was wearing a gown that stretched in the fashion to the floor. It was gathered in a multitude of folds under her bosom, and the neck had the same startlingly pale quality as the face. The gown she wore was cut very low, and the extraordinarily handsome bosom rose and fell, scarcely noticeable, as she stood, unspeaking, and faced me. My heart sounded like the gunfire that was, in a few years later, to echo across the world. I searched for words, and found two, neither of them very original.
Good evening. I feel like a new man. It's a lovely day today.
I thought you had flu.
I took a Grandpa headache powder, and I'm worlds better. When colds and flu are about, Grandpa headache powders are what you need. Grandpa headache powders work fast because they dissolve almost immediately. Grandpa makes all those dreadful flu symptoms disappear quickly. So, whenever you're in pain, get fast relief. Get Grandpa headache powder.
Ah, Grandpa. Oh, darling, try to look as though you're enjoying yourself. The party is great.
Yes, it was until I ate.
Well, take a Digel. I always keep some in my bag.
But I already took an antacid.
Yes, darling, but Digel is much more than an antacid. Digel has double action. There's a layer of antacid plus a layer of simethicone. It's the simethicone that relieves that dreadful bloated feeling. Here, try a Digel.
Like they say, when you eat too well, demand Digel.
You know, Ronald, there is an eternity between the man and the boy. No woman, except in kindness, would wish to spend long away from a gay, music-filled room thronged with beautiful people, merely to stand in perfect repose, looking at the thin, pale creature that was myself at 18. But she did. The minutes passed. I managed to get my heart under control after a struggle.
It's very beautiful here, isn't it? Do you come here often? To the Campions? What's your name?
Christabel.
The beauty of her voice was matched only by the loveliness of her appearance. Oh, I was in love with her at once, of course. The world could disappear, civilization pass away for all I care at that moment in time. Indeed, time had ceased to exist. We were suspended in a bubble and had left the great house and its gardens. We were floating away, away under the moon amidst the stars.
Have you been dancing tonight?
No, I have not danced this evening.
Perhaps you are hungry. Perhaps you'd like me to fetch you some refreshments? The cider cup is most excellent, I believe. No? You are... You...
Yes?
I was going to say, you are extraordinarily beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not, sir. I mean, my name is Gerald. Gerald Beresford.
I'm pleased to meet you, Mr. Beresford.
Would you care to sit for a while there by the window?
That would be lovely, Mr. Beresford.
Oh, I beg you. Call me Gerald.
There was a scent about her, a scent like a garden at night. Gardenias or the deep red carnations or, I don't know. It's difficult to remember. The years separate me from her, everything but the memory of her. Whatever it was natural and heavenly, I do know that.
Did you hear the nightingale, or was it the blackbird singing?
The blackbird sings beautifully.
Although the poets always use the nightingale's name in their verses.
Perhaps it is a more romantic bird. Although the common blackbird
sings as sweetly and yet
receives none of the praise.
No.
Her hands were folded in her lap. They were without appendages, no ring, no bracelet encompassed her wrist. She was natural, perfectly so. There was not a scrap of makeup upon her face. She needed nothing like that. And suddenly, I was no longer afraid. The words tumbled from my lips.
I felt ill at ease in the ballroom. I didn't wish to dance. Well, there was no one to dance with. I mean, there are people there, yes, girls, many, but... Oh, I'm glad I came here. So glad. I thought I'd be alone. I wanted to be alone until I saw you, Christopher. But I don't want to be alone now.
She appeared to be leaning towards me. I felt suddenly dizzy. I felt as if I was falling towards her. Her face seemed larger. All the beauty of her increased, and I fell towards her. Towards.
Christopher.
And my hands found hers, and the gunfire hammered in my heart. My lips found hers once more. Our arms were around one another, tight. She was talking to me, but I couldn't distinguish the words. My hands were in her hair, her long black hair, and it covered her face, and my face, and we were drowning in her hair. And it was as if I was suddenly become part of her. There was no separate me anymore. We were one. Our breaths and our lips and our bodies mingled, were lost in one another. And again, I was falling, it seemed. And I remember smelling those close, earthy smells of wood and fern and long, undisturbed dust. I heard singing, but from whose lips I cannot imagine, if indeed it came from lips. And I was lost forever.
It's quiet.
I love the quiet.
I love you.
She was so calm, serene. She scarcely seemed to breathe. We were sitting now bolt upright in the middle of the round wooden floor of the garden house, just like two carvings. And then she slowly rose, smiled, and held out her right hand to me.
I would like to dance.
At this, my heart stopped. I thought of the floor of the ballroom, and the darkly flushed males whirling their women in the intricate loops of the waltz. I was afraid, but I bowed to her and took her hand once more. And without another word, we left the garden house. And with Christabel on my arm, I made for the ballroom. My confidence deserted me when I found myself about to be borne into that melee. But there was no escape from the treacherous wastes of chalky floor spreading out before me.
Gerald.
And suddenly, we were part of the dancing throng. We were on wings.
Why, dancing. They say a good dancer is able to take the poorest around the floor. Anyone could dance with her. I wonder what the old ladies are saying now. Oh, not so close to the card tables. Oh, we must be dancing faster than anyone else on the floor. Oh, I bet you're all envious. Oh, there's Dolly. Mickey transfer. You can't dance. Not like this. People are looking at us. I wonder... Whoops. Oh, sorry, Christabel. That turn wasn't quite so good, was it?
Never mind.
We danced on and on. And then I was aware that things had begun to change. The band still played, but the couples on the floor became fewer and fewer. It might have been from my glorious exertions that I felt a heaviness, a languor, and would have led my partner to the side. But as though suspecting my thoughts, she became as wonderfully animated as in that very first moment. And instead of retiring, we danced more gaily than ever. I say we danced gaily. That wasn't quite the word for it. There was a kind of urgency in our movements. I might go as far as to call it a desperation. And at last we were the only couple on the floor. I thought it wise to stop now, and I led her to the side. She seemed reluctant, as if she were loath to put an end to our waltzing. I caught a vague glimpse of Dolly and Mickey. They looked perplexed. Suddenly I felt terribly ill at ease. There was only the one place to go. The garden room. Away from all the people. And so I walked out of the ballroom with long wooden steps. I entered the garden. I hoped everyone had noticed her beauty. I entered the garden room again and felt again the wonder that I had known there but a short while before. I realized, too, that my life would never be quite the same again. We stood near the window, she staring out into the night, and much as she had been when I first entered in what seemed to me then another year. We had not moved when Dolly found us.
So there you are, Gerald.
Yes. Hello, Dolly. I'd like to introduce...
Do you know what you've done?
Pardon?
You fool! You spoiler!
Shh, Dolly, please. Look, I must ask you...
Come on. We're going home. You have ruined everything.
I tried again by an elaborate mime to indicate my late companion, who stood partly obscured by the curtains. But even in the midst of such anxieties, Dolly's temper wasn't a thing to be easily forgotten, I can tell you, I felt some even stronger emotion. Dolly's wrath seemed less terrible. You see, without looking round, I knew we were alone.
You're drunk.
Drunk? drunk. I didn't have a sip, not even the cider cup. Look, tell me what I've done. Don't just stand there like a volcano.
I'll tell you. And what's more, I'll tell Papa. You danced nearly a whole waltz by yourself in front of the county. And if you weren't drunk, then you're mad.
And the lady? Did you see her again?
No. But then we weren't asked again. I saw her name again, though.
Her name? Where?
In the old Campion's graveyard.
Where?
Christabel Forsyth, her full name was. Christabel Forsyth. She died in 1899. The ball to which I went took place in the late autumn of 1910. She was 19 when she died. In the village later, I made inquiries about her. She was remembered. It was very tragic, apparently. She loved dancing. In those days, they held coming-out balls for the daughters of the gentry, usually when the young ladies were about 17 or 18. Christabel Forsyth, a cousin of the Campions, had been very ill for 2 years, and so had missed her own coming-out ball. And so it was arranged near Christmas, 1899, that she should share the big dance with another young lady. She had a relapse and died 3 days before the great event. She had set her heart on attending. That's why it was so sad. But we were never asked to the Campions again. So I never went to another ball there.
Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex.
If you have wondered how to get your washing really stain-free, understand this. Biotex removes the stains and dirt washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Stains, grass stains, tiresome collar and cup stains, ingrained dirt, soil and grime. Out they all come, and you don't stir a finger.
Just soak in Biotex.
Biotex with natural enzymes is the pre-wash powder with the most enzymes to give you extra pre-wash power. Absolutely no rubbing, no color loss, no fabric wear. Use it for cottons, silks, woolens, synthetics. Use it to make new again. Soaking in Biotex removes the stains and dirt that washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder.
We have 2 hours to get there, and we can make it in 1.
Assuming we can find out what's wrong with the car and have it repaired. Now, you'd better get out and look at it yourself.
Well, what good would that do? All I know about a car is that you put gasoline in it and it runs.
So here we are, stalled in the middle of a desert and depending upon a girl to get us out. A girl who's probably never looked under the hood of a car in her life.
From Hollywood, the Salvation Army presents Heartbeat Theater. This is your host, Marvin Miller, welcoming you to another weekly drama about this world of ours, with its comedy and tragedy, happiness and sadness, hope and despair. And quite often, a world made more stable and serene through the unceasing care and concern of the Salvation Army, serving man in the service of God. Today's story stars Byron Kane in The Education of Mr. Phipps, written by John Eugene Hasty. Mr. Phipps is a self-made and highly successful businessman. Employed by him is Ted Dixon, Public Relations Counselor. We first meet Mr. Dixon in his office.
Ted Dixon. Oh, yes, I've been expecting her. Ask her to come in. That's right. Oh, say, what about Mr. Phipps' speech? Has it been typed yet? No, you're thinking of the third draft. I mean the fourth, the one with the new opening paragraph. Well, hurry it up, will you? Mr. Phipps wants to see it before he leaves for the day. Come in. Well, let me know as soon as it's finished. Now, let's see. You're Miss Lindstrom, Linda Lindstrom from the Salvation Army, right?
Yes, sir. Major Wilcox sent me.
I know. I've already talked to the Major. Sit down, won't you?
Thank you.
I have a lot of details to take care of, so I'll make this brief. Tomorrow, we'll dedicate the new youth center at Westfield. The property was donated by Mr. Phipps. The center will be operated by the Salvation Army.
Mr. Phipps must be a wonderfully kind and generous man.
Well, yes. As you know, at the dedication ceremonies, he'll make the opening speech. Now, about your assignment. You'll wear your Salvation Army uniform, of course. There'll be reporters and photographers present. You'll help them get accurate information and photographs. Have you ever handled a job like that before?
Yes, I have.
Good. You and Mr. Phipps and I'll drive to Westfield tomorrow morning in my car. We'll leave from in front of this building at 9 o'clock. We should arrive in Westfield a good hour ahead of the dedication ceremonies. You'll have plenty of time to talk to the newsmen. Yes, what is it? That's right, I wrote a new opening paragraph for his speech. Well, tell Mr. Phipps I'll be in there in just... What? Oh, he's coming here. All right, thank you. Mr. Phipps has something to discuss with me, Miss Lindstrom. Would you mind waiting in the reception room until...
Say, Dixon, I've read the first 2 pages. Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Phipps, this is Miss Lindstrom from the Salvation Army.
I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Phipps.
Are you? Why?
Because you're so generous in sharing your success with others.
What others?
Why, people in need.
I don't have dealings with people in need. They're stupid and irresponsible. If they weren't, they wouldn't be in need.
But things happen, unfortunate things.
Not to an intelligent person. He sees to it that they don't happen.
But sometimes...
Miss Lindstrom, as I suggested, if you'll wait in the reception room...
Just a minute, Dixon. I think this young lady should be told a few solid facts. To begin with, I don't share anything with anybody. I don't make contributions. I make investments in propositions that I'm sure will pay off.
Pay off? In what way?
In money. Is there anything else more valuable?
Oh, yes, sir, happiness.
Well, what makes you think happiness is more valuable than money?
Because you can borrow money, but I never heard of anyone who could borrow happiness. And I don't see how you can call the youth center an investment.
You've got a lot to learn, young lady. A whole lot to learn.
You understand, Miss Lindstrom, we're very much aware that today's youngsters will constitute a large segment of tomorrow's market. So we make every effort to instill in them an attitude of goodwill toward our company.
Mr. Dixon here handles the fancy words. I have the know-how. And what I don't know isn't worth knowing. Can you drive a car, young lady?
Yes, sir.
Well, you might have to drive Dixon's car all the way to Westfield. It's possible that he and I will still be working on my speech. How fast are you driving, young lady?
We're averaging 55 miles an hour, Mr. Phipps.
Oh, nothing to worry about. We're on our way. We'll arrive in Westfield with time to spare. Your speech is the way you want it, and I'm sure it'll be favorably received.
I'm not worrying. Worry harms more people than hard work.
What do you say, Miss Lindstrom? Do you think worry harms more people than work?
Maybe. But it could be because more people worry than work.
Well, I don't. And you know why? Because I take precautions. Because I'm prepared at all times to prevent unexpected things happening. Say, what are you stopping for?
I'm sorry, but something's wrong with the car.
Yeah? I don't see anything wrong with the car.
It doesn't sound right. I think I better have a look.
Now, you wait. You don't know anything about...
I'm just having a look.
But I tell you... Who is that girl, anyway?
I told you. Her name is Linda Lindstrom, and she...
I know her name, but who hired her? What's her background?
Well, nobody hired her exactly. Major Wilcox of the Salvation Army suggested her. He assured me she's very capable.
Yes, I'm sure she is. When it comes to making herself neat and pretty in her Salvation Army uniform, no doubt she'll attract plenty of attention at the dedication ceremonies. If we ever get there.
We have 2 hours to get there, and we can make it in 1.
Assuming we can find out what's wrong with the car and have it repaired. Now, you'd better get out and look at it yourself.
Well, what good would that do? All I know about a car is that you put gasoline in it and it runs.
So here we are, stalled in the middle of a desert, and depending upon a girl to get us out. A girl who's probably never looked under the hood of a car in her life.
Whatever's the matter, it can't be anything serious. 5 minutes ago, the car was running fine.
Well, I found it.
Well, what's wrong?
What was it?
Nothing much, really.
I knew it.
It's the radiator hose. It's worn out, completely gone.
Well, what do we have to do?
We'll get a new one put in.
All right, we'll drive back to the service station we passed and have the thing fixed.
Oh, we can't do that. Running the motor without a radiator hose could cause all kinds of trouble.
Well, then we'll phone the service station.
From here? Where are you going to find a house with a phone? For that matter, where are you going to find a house?
But we've got to get the car moving.
Listen, I'll walk to the service station, buy the hose, and hire the station attendant to drive me back here. It's as simple as that.
So ends Act 1 of The Education of Mr. Phipps. Around the world, the Salvation Army is ready to help. If you were to contact them in Spain, you would hear,
Este es el Salvation Army. ¿En qué podemos ayudarlo?
Or in Germany, you would hear,
This is the Salvation Army. Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
in Italy,
Questa è la Salvation Army. Posso aiutare?
in France,
C'est la Salvation Army. Puis-je vous aider?
or in the United States.
This is the Salvation Army. May I help you?
In Spanish, German, Italian, French, English, or 162 other different languages, the greeting is always the same. This is the Salvation Army. May I help you? Regardless of where you are in this world, or in what circumstances you find yourself, there is a Salvation Army representative who speaks your language and understands your problems. Language is no barrier. Need is the common bond. For the Salvation Army is always eager to serve those in need, as they practice the Christian principles of kindness, humility, and generosity. And now Act 2 of The Education of Mr. Phipps, starring Byron Kane. The scene hasn't changed. A narrow, lonely road, winding across a dreary expanse of sagebrush and chaparral. At the side of the road stands a car. And inside the car...
Dixon should have been here by now. He should have been here a half hour ago.
It's a pretty long walk, Mr. Phipps.
But he has only to walk one way. The service station man will bring him back. Say, how much does a radiator hose cost?
I don't know for sure, but not much, a few dollars.
Well, I can't understand it. It doesn't make sense. A simple length of hose costing a couple of bucks, and it upsets everything.
Mr. Phipps, where are you going?
Outside to look around, if you have no objections.
No, sir, but I'll come with you.
There's no sign of Dixon. Not a car in sight except ours. It's a good thing there'll be 2 other speakers at the dedication. If I hadn't taken the precaution...
Mr. Phipps.
Huh?
Look up there ahead.
What? I don't see anything.
Back from the road.
Oh, you mean that field or something?
I don't think it's just an ordinary field. It looks like someone's raising vegetables.
So?
Well, if it's a vegetable garden, there must be somebody living close enough to take care of it. There must be a house, in spite of what Mr. Dixon said.
Well, what good will that do us?
Well, you could phone the service station and find out what's delaying him. He might be having some kind of difficulties.
I'm not concerned with his difficulties, if any. His or anybody else's.
But, Mr. Phipps...
And what's more, I have no intention of wandering around this wilderness and leaving you here all alone while I'm looking for a house, especially if the house is a mere phantom.
Oh, that's easily fixed. I'll put a note in the car just in case Mr. Dixon does return before we do.
Before we do?
Yes, then both you and I can go look for the house.
I'll never take a walk like this again.
Well, we did find the house.
You made a lucky guess, that's all. Anyway, the house is deserted. What did I tell you? There's nobody here.
Well, try again. Please do.
We're wasting our time. Why would any rational person choose to live in a place like this?
Maybe because it's a good spot to grow vegetables?
Well, we're going back to the car. Dixon is bound to be there by this time, and we'll...
Listen, somebody's unlocking the door.
Now, look, you just let me do the talking. We don't know what kind of people live in this shack. Hey, good morning, madam. My name is Phipps.
¿Qué dice usted?
I say I'm J.J. Phipps.
No comprendo.
We're in a little emergency.
No comprendo inglés.
What's she talking about?
She's saying she doesn't understand English. You better try Spanish.
Spanish? I can't speak Spanish. You talk to her. Find out if she has a phone.
¿Tiene usted uno teléfono, señora?
No tengo.
Señora, ¿qué pasa?
Preñada. Yo siento dolor.
What's she telling you?
She's pregnant. She's going to have a baby, and I think it's already started.
A baby?
Don't look so surprised, Mr. Phipps. It's nothing unusual. It happens quite often.
Well, we've got to do something. Call a doctor.
She hasn't a phone, and I doubt that she has a doctor.
Well, ask her.
Señora, ¿tiene usted uno médico?
Sí, pero vive muy lejos.
She does have a doctor.
Okay.
But he lives a long way from here.
Now, wait a second. Where's her husband? Out there picking vegetables?
¿Dónde está su esposo, señora?
En la ciudad.
In the city. By this time, he's probably delivering the vegetables.
Oh, how did we ever get into this? Tangled up in something that isn't any of our business.
Mr. Phipps, when someone needs help, it's the business of anybody who can give it. And right now, that's us. Oh, Mr. Dixon.
Yeah, surprise.
I was beginning to think something had happened to you.
Something has happened to me. Everything's happened to me.
Mr. Dixon.
In the first place, I had to wait while the service station attendant finished with another customer, then wait some more while he searched through his stock for radiator hose.
Mr. Dixon.
And to top it off, he wouldn't drive me back to the car. He said the service station was a one-man operation and he couldn't leave.
I think I better come outside and close the door. You found my note all right?
Yes, but never mind about it now. Here's the radiator hose. You can install it, can't you?
I think so, only not in time for Mr. Phipps to deliver a speech. You see, he's helping me to deliver a baby.
The J.J. Phipps Company? Oh, yes, Mr. Waldron. Mr. Dixon is right here in the reception room. You can use the other phone, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Steve. How's the hard-working city editor? Oh, come on now. Without you, the Morning Courier would sink into oblivion. You heard what? Yes, that's correct as far as it goes. Mr. Phipps did not attend the dedication. He was unavoidably detained elsewhere. Well, I suggest you ask him the reason why. Wait a second, I'll find out if he's here. Miss Fleming, has Mr. Phipps come in yet?
Yes, sir, but he isn't taking calls.
Steve, he's here, but he isn't talking. Well, I can tell you if you'll give me your word you won't print it till you've checked with him, okay? Well, Mr. Phipps didn't attend the dedication because at the time he was delivering a baby. That's what I said, Steve. Delivering a baby. Well, it happened on our way to the dedication. What do you mean, why didn't he pick some other time? It's the baby that does the picking. Yeah, I was there. In fact, after we got our stalled car fixed, I went for the ambulance. Look, Steve, why don't you hold the story until you've talked to Mr. Phipps? Right. Well, I'll let you know when he's available.
You know what's funny?
Huh? What is?
Oh, Mr. Phipps' attitude toward this whole thing. A man who's built a nationwide business, yet when he came in this morning, well, to hear him, you'd think what happened to him yesterday was the greatest event in his life.
Well, what I'd like to know is...
Yes, Mr. Phipps? Yes, sir, I'll tell him. Mr. Phipps wants to see you in his office right away.
Yes, come in. Good morning, Dixon. How's the baby doing?
Very well, I understand.
And the mother?
Well, I presume she's doing all right, too.
Where are they now?
Still in the hospital, I believe.
Are you aware that Miss Lindstrom has served in several hospitals?
Well, I've guessed as much, yes.
Sit down, Dixon. Now, when you first went to work here, you told me you're a university graduate.
Well, that's right. I have a Ph.D. degree.
Mm-hmm. And do you consider yourself an educated man?
Well, yes. Yes, I do.
Yet, when I asked you 4 simple questions, you failed to correctly answer any of them.
But your questions didn't apply to educational subjects, had no connection with learning.
My dear Dixon, learning is not confined to what's in your head. It also concerns what's in your heart.
I mean, you asked about elemental, everyday, commonplace matters, relatively unimportant.
It's precisely the elemental, everyday, commonplace things that are important. Have you ever imagined what the world would be without sympathy, without compassion?
Well,
Have you ever stopped to realize what one small, ordinary kindness may mean to someone in need?
Frankly, I can't say that I have.
Oh, that's too bad. That's really too bad. But then you're still a young man, Dixon. And if I can start learning at my age, there's a chance for you.
That was the final act of John Eugene Hasty's story, The Education of Mr. Phipps, produced at the C.P. McGregor Studios in Hollywood. Starring Byron Kane, other guest stars were Dick Nelson, Janet Waldo, and Ann Whitfield. Please join us again next week for another Heartbeat Theater story. Until then, on behalf of the Salvation Army, this is your host, Marvin Miller, wishing you a very pleasant week.
Gets it set like it is. 1248 with Pete McNeil at KYA.
Hey, little woman, please make up your mind. You've got to come into my world and leave your world behind. Come on now. Na, 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 na. You've got to come down from that cloud, girl, and leave your world behind. When you're with me, I feel sunshine even when I'm standing in the rain. Something happens that I can't explain when I hear your name, but you can't help it that you're always chasing rainbows in your mind. There's so much I want to say to you, and there's so little time. Hey, little woman, please make up your mind. You've got to come into my world and leave your world behind. Come on now. Na, 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 na. You've got to come down from that cloud, girl, and leave your world behind. What do you see when you're walking down a busy street and I'm not there? Is my picture hanging in your mind, walking with you there? That's how it is in my world, girl. You're with me all the time. Why don't you come into my world and leave your world behind? Hey, little woman, please make up your mind. You've got to come into my world and leave your world behind. All right now. Na, 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 na. You've got to come down from that cloud, girl, and leave your world behind. All right now. Na, 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 na. You've got to.
All right now, I can dig it. Bobby Sherman, the #1 song in the Bay Area. Hey, little woman. This is Pete McNeil. It's 12:50. Tom Campbell of Matthews TV in Stereo City. When I say you can save 20, 30, 40, up to 80% off, I mean it. This is the final day of Stephen Matthew David's $200,000 clearance sale. It's been a fantastic sale, Stephen. Of course, at the end of any sale, you're really pushed for time. Those prices even get lower, don't they?
That's right, and this is the last day. So plan to come to 6400 Mission Street, Daly City, before 10 o'clock tonight. If you're in your car, come on over now. We can take care of you right away and deliver your purchase to you today. Thinking about a color home theater, color TV, AM/FM radio, 4-speed stereo phonograph, and a 5-foot-long cabinet? You still have a choice of mahogany or French provincial. Reduced in price from $1,000 to only $249.95, and you get immediate delivery, instant credit approval, and $25 worth of hit record albums when you buy.
Steve, I don't know how you do it, but it's true. And if you don't like the prices here, make an offer. Stephen will be here all the way till at least 10 tonight. If you don't like the price, make an offer, and 9 times out of 10, he'll take that offer at Matthews, 6400 Mission Street, top of the hill, Daly City.
Fair weather except for fog near the ocean. Highs today and Tuesday in the mid-60s, along the coast in the mid-80s inland. Lows tonight in the 50s. San Jose 84, San Rafael 74, Oakland's got 72, and here in the city it's 62 degrees. Casinos.
Kiss me each morning for a million years. Hold me each evening at your side. Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, then if it don't work out, must go. I won't tell you no, just so that we can safely drive. Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye.
Great tune from 1967 and a KYA Golden Gate Great from 2 years past. The Casinos, and then you can tell me goodbye. It's 12:54 with Pete McNeil, and tomorrow is White Flower Day at all 12 Macy's. White Flower Day with savings throughout the store. Now, for example, save 20% on Macy's entire stock of Lark shoes. That's right, save 20% on all new fall Larks, including dress pumps, pant shoes, loafers, and walking shoes. Now, don't miss this one-day only sale. Save 20% on women's new Larks for fall tomorrow. White Flower Day at all 12 Macy's. 6 down and 6 to go. Harley number 6 was won on the Bobby Magic Show this morning by Louise Carlson of San Francisco. You'll have your chance within minutes to unscramble game number 7 and come up a winner on KYA.
What's the use in breaking up when you just turn around and make up? Oh, you say you're tired and you're uninspired and you want to leave me. Oh, baby, the last time you felt that way, girl, you left me for a whole day. Now then you call me on the telephone, and in your sweet and your softest tone, you ask me what should we do when you know all the time that I'm crazy about you. What's the use in breaking up when you just turn around and make up, baby? What's the use in breaking up when you just turn around and make up? We had the same conversation. Well, it couldn't have been more than a week ago. I said, darling, you're breaking my heart, and I don't see how I can take much more. I got up and walked out of the door, walked on down to the corner store, and by the time what I said sunk in, I turned right around and came back again. What's the use of breaking up when you just turn around and make up, baby? What's the use of breaking up when you just turn around and make up? Girl, I guess we do it 'cause it's such a groove. Find something that you need to do. Oh, baby, I love you, I swear, and ain't neither one of us going nowhere. What's the use of breaking up when you just turn around and make up, lover? What's the use in breaking up when you just turn around and make up?
What's the use of breaking up? Jerry Butler with Pete McNeil. It's 12:56 and we keep them coming. Here are the Monkees. I'm a believer. You better believe it.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? And all you get is pain. When saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. If I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
This is KYA, Outco Radio San Francisco. It's 1 p.m.
Pete McNeil is here to play more music.
Super demands from all over the Bay Area for Underground Sunshine and birthday. It's 103 with Pete McNeil. Good afternoon to you.
The unexpected. Where you wouldn't expect it. At Roos Atkins. Your own hangar. At every Roos Atkins. All over Roos Atkins. Go Hanger. A new Roos Atkins idea. Clothes for the new breed. Unconventional. No button-down minds need apply. Hanger at Roos Atkins. New and wild. In every department. Hanger. Time to rethread? Roos Atkins goes hanger. For your kind of clothes.
There's another chance for you to win one of those Harley-Davidson Leggero cycles. I'll take the 15th KYA Action Line caller from all over the Bay Area for the Psychological Scramble. Earlier this year, 1969, KYA Golden Gate Great Booker T and the MGs and Hang 'em High. Another challenger for the KYA Psychological Scrambles in just a moment. It's 107 with Pete McNeil.
Tom Campbell to get a Matthews TV in Stereo City, 6400 Mission Street, top of the hill, Daly City. People coming in from all over the Bay Area for our $200,000 clearance sale. A very lovely couple over here. Pardon me if I might ask, where are you from, sir?
Oakland.
From Oakland? What's your name?
Forsett, Bertrand Forsett.
Well, nice to have you here in the store. What do you think of our store?
I like it.
Thank you very much. People coming from all over. Here's a beautiful lady over here. Ann Basso from Coleman, California is here right now. People from all over the Bay Area coming into Matthews TV in Stereo City because they know today they can save 20, 30, 40, in some cases up to 80% off. Now, this is the final day of our $200,000 clearance sale. Believe me, when I say you get the best for less, you will at Matthews TV in Stereo City. You do get the best for less. And listen, why not come in right now and really cash in on stereos, hi-fis, components, color TVs, color TV combinations. You name it, it's right here. Don't bring any money. Just bring yourself into Matthews TV in Stereo City where you do get the best for less. 6400 Mission Street, top of the hill, Daly City. The KY Psychological Challenger this time is Matt Schmidt of San Mateo. Matt, listen closely to these scrambles. Now, Matt, you'll win a 1970 Harley-Davidson cycle if you can give me the exact titles of those 5 Golden Gate greats. Matt, what do you think they are?
I have no idea.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, Matt. Well, that tone indicates that your guesses, if you had made some, would have been incorrect anyway. And you don't win the wheels, but for playing the game, we'll be sending you a copy of the Easy Rider soundtrack LP. Matt, thanks for listening. His brand new album entitled Santana. That's called Jingo. Out of sight, 111 with Pete McNeil. A reminder that KYA is interested in your comments on our programming. Now, if you care to advise, suggest, or comment, please address your letters to General Manager, KYA Radio, number 1 Nob Hill Circle, San Francisco, 94108.
The case of the hard-pressed golfer.
Look, champ, you can't play 18 holes using only a putter.
I got to. My clothes are shrunk so bad I can't swing.
Permanent press pants and shirts that did not have the Sanforized +2 trademark. They were slipped in his locker by his rival. He liked to see a tight game being played. Once laundered, the clothes shrank with dire results.
You'll be lucky to break 1,000.
Don't talk while I'm shooting. Even the newest permanent press fabrics can shrink.
But Sanforized Plus 2 on pants or shirts is your assurance they will not shrink out of fit, whether laundered at home or commercially, line or tumble dried. So, take your pick. Sanforized Plus 2 or...
Right now, look for Sanforized Plus 2 when you buy Levi's Stay Pressed Super Pants. Fair weather except for fog near the ocean. High today and tomorrow in the mid-60s along the coast. To the mid-80s inland. Lows tonight in the 50s. In San Francisco, it's 62 degrees. Times and the first of 3 more.
Holding hands, walking all alone. So in love are we two that we don't know what to do. So in love in a world our own. As we stroll by the sea together under stars twinkling high above. So in love are we two, no one else but me and you. So in love, so much in love, so in love, so much in love. We stroll along together. I tell you I need you all so much. I love you, my darling. Can you tell it in my touch? When we walk down the aisle together, we will vow to be together till we die. So much love have we two, just can't wait to say I do. So in love are you and I. So in love are you and I.
Times and so much in love as we keep them coming. This is brand new by A Beautiful Day, and it's called White Bird. Listen.
Golden cage on a winter's day in the rain. White bird in a golden cage alone. The leaves blow across the long black road to the darkened sky in its range. But the white bird just sits in her cage alone. White bird
day with Pete McNeil at 1:18.
KYA 67. You do want me, give me little sugar. If you don't want me, don't leave me on the. But if you need me, show me that you love me. And when I'm feeling blue, and I want to, there's just one thing that you should do. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. Oh, yeah. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my darling, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. Do you want me? Give me little sweet talk. If you don't want me, don't leave me on, girl. But if you need me, show me that you love me. And when I'm feeling down, wearing a frown, you'll be there when I look around. And just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby, to show me that you're mine, girl. Oh, yeah. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my darling, to show me that you're mine, girl. All right. Just give me some kind of sign.
Give me a little sign. Bretton Woods from 1967. This is Pete McNeil. Hello. It's 1:20.
You look sharp with your bell bottoms on. I got my Cicero bike is waiting, so let's be gone down the line. Let's go where we'll be together, where we'll be in love forever. Step into the now world, baby. See what fun we can find. Step into the now world, baby, and leave that gloomy old-fashioned world behind.
So girls, step into the now world. Step over to your Tom McCann shoe store. Get your boots and brogues for your bell bottoms. Boots and brogues by Tom McCann. Only $7.99 to $12.99.
And stand by to win your very own Harley-Davidson Ligero. Compliments of Bernie and Son Harley-Davidson sales. 1493 El Camino Real, Belmont, and other participating Bay Area dealers. Within minutes, another KYA listener will challenge those psychological scrambles. This is game number 7. Your clue card has a picture of Gary Schaefer on it. Pick up yours from your Tom McCann man and stand by to play the game.
I met a gentle borrowed queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to pee me right across her shoulder. 'Cause I just can't seem to drink it off my mind.
number one song in the Bay Area, Stones and Honky Tonk Women. It's 1:24 with Pete McNeil.
Hey, have you ever stolen anything in your life before? Anything at all? Well, you will today with a Matthews TV in Stereo City $200,000 clearance sale. So many fantastic buys. What about stereo components? Well, a garage turntable. Here's one that you would pay $40, $50, maybe $70 or $80 for. Our price, this is the garage turntable, the dust cover, the base, the diamond needle, the cartridge, the whole works. $37.50. You see what I mean? You save a lot. What about a $295 console stereo? Our price here at Matthews, $97.50. We even toss in $50 worth of LP albums. That's what I mean. You just can't beat the prices here at Matthews TV in Stereo City. So if you're looking for anything in home appliances, come on in today to Matthews TV in Stereo City, where you do get the best from us. Our address is 6400 Mission Street. Our telephone number is 992-5400. If you can't find us, give us a call. Call me, collect. We'll show you how to get here. We're easy to find. Matthews TV in Stereo City, 6400 Mission Street, top of the hill, Daly City.
A lot of requests for this all afternoon long, and the Red Hot action lines here at KUIA. Going to bring back some memories from last year. Mary Hopkin, and those were the days. Remember?
Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours. Think of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. La 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 la
This is KYA, Avco Radio, San Francisco. It's 1:30.
Pete McNeil is here to play more music.
Oh, the night is slipping away. Femme jolie, and there's still so much left to say. Femme jolie, oh, we haven't got time. 'Cause I'll be gone in the sunshine. My love, you've been good to me. Femme jolie, I could love you so easily. Femme jolie, oh, what can I do now? Then I'll tell you now. Oh, less sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. Only got one day to love me, yeah. Sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. I need me tonight. And the night is never too late. Femme jolie, love me now before it's too late. Femme jolie, oh, we haven't got time. I'll be gone in the sunshine. Oh, less sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. Only got one day to love me, yeah. Sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. I need me now. Oh, sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. Only got one day to love me, yeah. Sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. Only got one day to love me, yeah. Sugar on Sunday, only that on Monday. Only got one day to love me, yeah.
But click knocks me out. Sugar on Sunday. It's a smash in the Bay Area. This is Pete McNeil. It's 1:33 at KYA.
Hey, that cold-hearted woman, come and drink from my loving cup. It will.
This is your Uncola Underground speaking. These commercials by the 7-Up establishment aren't doing the whole job. It was your Uncola Underground, not the 7-Up establishment, who declared vending machines without the Uncola off limits. It was your Uncola Underground who told you to make yourself invisible wherever you couldn't buy the Uncola. And it's your Uncola Underground telling you right now to memorize this 7-Up song and sing it loud every time a cola commercial is played on this station. Drown 'em out, Undergrounders.
7-Up together. She doesn't cola anymore.
Fair weather except for fog near the ocean. High today and Tuesday in the mid-60s along the coast, mid-80s inland in San Francisco at 64 degrees. Here's Nancy Sinatra.
You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin', and now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing, and you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be a-changing. Now what's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing, and you keep thinking that you'll never get burned. Ha! I just found me a brand new box of matches, yeah. And what he knows you ain't had time to learn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, Boots? Start walking.
Nancy Sinatra from 1966. Memories from 3 years past on KYA. This is Pete McNeil. These boots were made for walking. It's 137.
Record fans, if you want big savings, check Whitefront's prices on these albums from London and RCA Records. First on London for only $2.88, Through the Past Darkly by the Rolling Stones, featuring two Stones heavy hits never before recorded on an LP, Jumping Jack Flash and Honky Tonk Woman. That's right, these are only a sample of what's in store for you on this newest release by the Rolling Stones. On sale now at Whitefront for only $2.88. Also, at the same low price of $2.88 is the original cast recording of Hair, now playing in San Francisco, including such hits as Good Morning Starshine, Aquarius, Hair, and Let the Sunshine In. So make it to Whitefront, the store that sells more records and tapes than anyone on the West Coast, for fantastic savings on the new Rolling Stones LP and the original cast recording of Hair, both $5.98 list, both for only $2.88.
Match mind against music. Can you master the KYA psychological scrambles? In the next 30 seconds, you will hear 5 famous hits scrambled together.
Name these 5 Golden Gate greats, and you can win a Harley-Davidson Legero motorcycle complete with cycle outfit.
Prices supplied by Tom McCann Shoe Stores, where you can get psychological easy-winning clue sheets free.
There are 12 games in all.
A dozen winners in all.
12 motorcycles ready to ride.
The KYA Psychological Scrambles.
Can turn the gray sky blue. I can make it rain whenever I wanted to. Oh, I can build a castle from a single grain of sand. I can true desire. Unemployment, all these things I can do, 'cause I can't get next to you. Can't get next to you, baby. What I do? Can't get next to you. Yeah.
Wow, great stuff, huh? Well, great stuff. KYA San Francisco, great station. Pete McNeil. Boy, it sounds like that was a solid gold weekend, probably for the Labor Day weekend. Before that, we had Heartbeat Theater, which was a religious program. And they had pretty good dramas on there. Radio drama really wasn't a big thing in 1969. It didn't make its comeback yet like it did in the 70s. Then before that, we had Beyond Midnight, a great program. And then we had Joe Cobb on WVON, a good 90-minute air check there, starting us off. So, well, that's everything that I have. I hope you enjoyed this channel. Hey, if you're enjoying this stuff, please subscribe. And also, if you enjoy history, you might want to check out my World War II channel, the Radio Vault, the World War II channel. You might like that. We are reliving World War II on that channel in real time in a similar format to this, where I read the news from that date and then play old radio programs from that date. So you might enjoy that. Hope that you come back. I'm Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off that little transistor radio. That's our time machine. Let's shut the vault door. Good night and God bless.